What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. No balloon review today, but today we're going to talk about 5 mistakes you might be making that can make you a better balloon artist. Let's get to it. All right, as we go to number 1, let me go ahead and remind you to go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Yeah. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that like. And I'm going to ask for your feedback and your input in the comments down below. So get ready to get those fingers moving, all right? So number one, a mistake you might be making, that is to show up to an event or even go out in your daily life without carrying your business card. That's right, your business card. How will they call you? I'm guilty of this. Oh my goodness, this happened so many times. Where I did great, that people loved me, and they said, "Dude, I want to hire you for my event. What's up? Let me get that business card, man. What's up?" And I'm like, no. Right? It's definitely happened to me, and I just want to cry and pull out my hair. A good thing I keep a short haircut. But yeah, so that's number 1, not keeping your big. You gotta have your business cards with you. It doesn't happen that much these days. If you don't have them on you, at least maybe keep the box in your car so that way you don't run into that problem like I do. Number 2, and that is planning for the worst. Planning for the worst. What do I mean by that specifically? Well, you know what? And here it gets pretty hot during the summer, and you're gonna want to make sure you plan for the worst. If you know that it's gonna get super hot wherever you're gonna go, that you work out, ahead of time with the host. How are you going to stay shaded? How are you going to stay cool? In my case, a lot of times I can count on the host to take care of me, which is really cool. But I always pack a tent in my car during the summer just in case I run into that off chance. They're going to put me in the middle of a field and hope for the best. Hopefully I don't pass out. You know what I'm saying? So definitely plan for the worst. Another example of planning for the worst is if you know it's going to be a super popular event, really crowded, you might want to work out with your host also getting that parking taken care of, so that way you can have a nice close spot. So that way you don't got to lug your stuff. I've been to events where I failed to do this again, and I had to park at least like a quarter mile away and then take my stuff, and it was not fun because sometimes when you get hired out for an event, you're not just bringing balloons with you. You might be bringing other stuff, face painting, magic, depends on what they're asking for. So take that into consideration. Along those lines, travel fees, and not only travel fees but parking fees. So really consider all these things. Will there be stairs? All of these types of things. Okay, so plan for the worst. Number 3, that is working with the menu / no menu. In this case, when people come up for most of my events, I'm serving pizza. Okay, you come up and ask me for a hamburger, I'm gonna be like, bro, we just had the pizza menu here today. Okay, my point is, if you keep a menu, you'll definitely save yourself a little bit of heartache from also getting that oddball challenge that someone wants to throw on you, and you definitely don't want to get just kind of stuck and thinking like, oh, how am I gonna make that? You definitely, I know some of you guys, we have different philosophies about this, but if you're just getting started, and one way to set yourself up for success and not making this mistake is start off with the menu. It won't hurt you, definitely won't hurt you at all to have a menu. All right, so keep that in mind. Number 4, that is your attire / hygiene. Okay, very important. Make sure that your costume looks good. All right, make sure that it is ironed. Right, take care of it. And also make sure your haircut looks nice, but just make sure you're looking clean overall, right? No one wants to see an unkempt performer, because the thing is, we would like to think that people will judge us on how cool we are, but they can only go off of what they see at first. And if you look sloppy, they're definitely going to make a judgment about you. It's just in our nature. I wish you were different, but that's just not the world we live in, all right? Speaking of hygiene, make sure, unless your nails are professionally done, I keep mine short. And for the main reason that is, I want to chew them sometimes, and that can be, just a bad habit. But I realized that when I chewed my nails, I found myself getting sick because you get all kinds of germs underneath your nails. So hygiene, make sure you're washing your hands after events, because people are touching all kinds of things, and then you're touching things too, and there's a lot of germs all around there. Okay, an example, when I go and face paint, I will end up with paint all over my hands, so I keep wipes if I can't hit the bathroom. That way I can at least wipe my hands off a little bit. But if you notice, if you play with balloons a little bit, you also will get this powder on them and your hands will end up like dry. And if you wear dark clothing, and you're gonna transfer some of that powder to your clothes, right? And it's gonna look like you were wiping off of one of those old chalkboards with your shirt. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you're making sure that you're taking care of yourself, and you're having just good clean habits when you're moving from event to event, and so that way you always have a professional, polished appearance. Number 5, and that is the demeanor. Yes, dude, you don't have to jump up and down to entertain your audience, but they probably shouldn't be looking at the top of your head while you sit there and try to figure out how to twist something. And they're just kind of, everybody's just kind of staring at each other. No one's saying anything, which means brings me to another idea that I'm probably going to put out another video, maybe to go with this one or at a different time, that talks about, how would you engage your audience instead of you just staring at. You don't have to shout at them. You can simply talk to them one-on-one, and that's okay too. If you know a couple jokes, that also works as well. All right, but a lot of times they're just happy to see what you're doing. So I would say the number one thing I would do right away, aside from having just a little side tip here, is besides having this overall fun demeanor, is bring everything up to your eye level if you can. If not, at least your chest level, but don't bring it down to your waist area where you're having to look down and try to figure out what you're doing, okay? Bring it up so that way they can see your face and you can see them, and that'll automatically make you want to engage them a little more. So remember that. So back to what we were saying, I don't want to deviate too much from that, about your demeanor. People like to be around fun people. It's contagious, all right? I had a client, and this is important. This is why I say this about this demeanor. I had a client say that the person they hired to do balloons a couple years ago, their balloons weren't bad, but this is how they described the person: mean as a snake. Dude, I hope no one ever says that about me, or you for that matter, right? So you check yourself when you're doing it. Remind yourself that, dude, we are super blessed. This is a super great job, super fun job. All we do is make people happy. You know what I'm saying? Except when we got to cut off the line. But that's another conversation for another time. So check yourself, making sure you're having yourself a good time. You enjoy this job, and remember why you got it into it in the first place. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video today. Hopefully I didn't run my mouth too much, but I do want to remind you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Oh, it's right there. There we go. Hit it right up there, right? The bell notification, that way I'm getting those subscribers up. I love you guys. Thank you much for for engaging with me. Remember, I want to hear about a time, an event. Speaking back to number 2 about planning for the worst, something that happened to you. You're like, dude, I can't believe that happened to me, and how you overcame it. Okay, it's definitely something that can help us all when we do stuff like that and talk about it. All right. So last but not least, I just want to remind you, you might have noticed that you're not seeing balloon tutorials here and how to twist different types of balloons here. That's because I moved them over to my Patreon channel. That's right. It is all those are behind the paywall. So if you want to support the channel, that's one way you can do it. But in supporting the channel, you also gain access to those videos. That's right. And I'm adding new videos all the time. All right. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to leave a link in the description below on how you can sign up for Patreon. It's really easy to do. If you have any questions, just hit me up. But otherwise, I am out of here. I'll see you guys next time. Happy twisting. Bye.